Okay, let's move on from marriage and talk about something else now. The next place I want to take this podcast, bi'idhnillah, is talking about the gender roles. So we obviously have this huge push right now that's going on, particularly in the West, about gender neutrality and how women are just as equal as men and they should be out in the workplace just as much as men. Is this something that Islam supports or not?
You know, I think Islam has a really beautiful approach to this. It's not forbidden for a woman to work. Now, in terms of gender neutrality, we've established that Islam is about justice.
Yeah.
Equality, this word equality is a mirage. It's a sarab, yeah? It's like something that whatever you do to try and achieve it, you end up oppressing somebody. Ultimately, what's required is adl, is justice. Justice is what's needed. Al-qist, fairness, is what's needed. As for musawa, just making everything the same, that actually is not, it never works. And you can see so many examples just in real life, in any way. Even if you look at when people try to make people equal in terms of their living, you know, look at things like communism and things like that, and socialism, about, you know, equal. Wallah, everything, you try to make this musawa all the time, you bring dhulm. If it's not from Allah, what Allah Azza wa Jal brought is adl. So He did bring musawa, equality in some things.
Okay.
But those equality are in things like, for example, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, Inna an-nisa shaqa'iqur rijal, or Innama an-nisa shaqa'iqur rijal, that women are the full sisters of men. There's a degree of equality in that sense. But equality has to be within the framework of justice. As for working, Islam didn't prohibit a woman from working, mutlaqan. A woman is forbidden to work, haram for a woman to work. First of all, that would not be practical in any society. You have some women who don't have any male guardian over them or anyone who's providing for them. And generally in Islam, actually, we have a beautiful thing. The state would typically provide for them. The ayama, the women who are unmarried, typically the Muslim state should provide for them. They should look after them, should pay for their income and look after them, take care of them. They're from the people that Islam has included within the Islamic welfare state. However, there's many times they can't do that. There's some situations in which a woman finds that she wants to do some work. First of all, there are some conditions to that. The first one, and this is about consistency, is that she has to have the permission, either from the guardian or either from the husband. And that's part of the same consistency in the qawama that we spoke about before.
Yeah.
The second thing is, most importantly, before that, really, we should have made it the first thing, is that it's not haram. And that's an equal condition for a man and a woman, that they don't work in that which is haram.
Okay.
They don't work in that which is haram. And the third one is that it doesn't take away from the work she does, doesn't take away from the other responsibilities that Allah has given her.
Like,
for example, let's just say that she has a responsibility to look after her husband, generally speaking. And the work doesn't interfere with that. The husband is happy, I don't have a problem. But it's not the case that, you know, he's upset and he's like, look, you know, she's just a career woman and she's working all the time and I don't see her and it's like, I'm not married. That's dhulm upon him, because the marriage had a understanding that you two were going to get married under a certain set of rights and a certain set of understanding. So that has to be present. But the husband can tanazal, he can say that I'm cool with this. I don't mind. It doesn't interfere with my rights. And there are some women who do some amazing work. Wallahi, there are many jobs where we need women specifically in those roles. For example, dealing with females in certain aspects. We don't want men to be doing that. There are some things that women do amazing. So much women contribute to da'wah, charitable projects, because often the man doesn't have time because he has to earn, he has to provide for his family. Whereas this work she's doing, it's not essential for her because the money that she has, at ultimately whatever money she earns is hers to spend. So a lot of the time there's more women are free to work in charitable, voluntary, da'wah type of roles because they don't need to earn necessarily a living from it because they already have someone. Of course, there are some women who need to earn a living, but I'm saying there's a lot of cases like that. So a lot of good comes from it. But ultimately, it's not, Islam didn't make it the default. The default is that the woman has every expectation that her father or her husband, if she's married, will provide for her. She has the right to say to her husband, I'm sitting at home, you go home, you go out and work. I don't want to work. And I think that's something that a lot of people would appreciate. They would say that, okay, that's nice that I don't have to work. A lot of women would say, I don't want to work. Why do I have to work? Like in this 50-50 system, you know, you need to pay half the rent. You need to pay half the bills. You know, you need to pay. Someone says, I don't want to work. I don't want to do that. She has the default position in Islam is that the woman doesn't have to work. But she's not prohibited absolutely from work if it's something that works in her situation, her husband, her family. It works for her.